Yo, welcome back to the Immigrant section. As always, if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, click follow, leave a review if that's even an option, depending on what you're listening. And check out the full videos on YouTube, or you can check out episodes on the sonarnetwork.com. There's a bunch of other cool shows on there. But all that aside, my guest for today, very good friend of mine, his second appearance on the Immigrant section, please put it together for Mo Ismail.
Bless. Thank you for having me.
I don't know when I started saying please put it together like it's a comedy show, but I realized these last 3 episodes I keep saying please put it together. I'm like, fuck, are people clapping at home?
Put it together. Put what together, bro? Just
Yeah,
put it together.
put your life together, all right? Get a job. We go back to engineering.
Just turned into an Everest commercial.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Man, Mo, thank you for reaching, bro. I've been trying to have you for a while. I respect you. You're the type of guy that you kind of put everything on the standstill because you live with your parents, just to keep
moms,
them
with
mom.
Just mom.
Yeah. So just to keep things safe.
Well, she's asthmatic, and I, as soon as the whole COVID thing started popping off, I had to make a decision. I started canceling shows. I didn't want to, but it's like I'm coming home to her every night, and I'm in close contact with her, so I can't really, for what it's worth, like what is it really worth, for me to try to get in a set at a bar, and then I go home and I cough, and then she's, and she's older, right? So it's just like she's not like. It's just like someone who's really receptive or susceptible to getting COVID. You got to be careful around them, right? So
yeah, man. It's I feel like we're past the scary moments of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Except when you look, like, I was planning on right when the border opened to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
That was like the plan like 2 weeks ago, but like my girl's birthday and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she wants to go. But now I'm like, holy crap. Do you see what's happening in the States?
Oh,
they didn't give a fuck, really. And a lot of them are just going back to step one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they haven't. Then this is still their first wave. Like right now, we've what do you call it? We've gone past the curve, and we're on a downward trend. But they're saying September is going to be another one. It's going to go back up. So.
Why? What's happening in September?
Well, I don't know. Just there's a second. I don't know. It's just so funny.
No one asked the question. Well, I'm not exactly sure. Because we all read just the headline, bro. Everything I read is off 6buzz Instagram.
Yeah.
If it can't be said in like 11 words or less, I don't know the information. It's bad, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's why.
You'll bring the mic a little closer.
Like, is this good?
Yeah, much better.
Sick. All right.
Sick. Okay.
Yeah, man, that's why I took time off of Instagram. I couldn't, I felt like I was getting that was my source of information. If anything was viral, I got it from Instagram. If anything was happening in the news, someone important died or something, then it's like that's where, but then I just started feeling like I'm so plugged into this thing. So I just disconnected, man. And then now I just watched a lot of videos on YouTube.
Yeah. That's how it works.
I took one out, but gave it like now it's like you look at on your iPhone and how many what your time spent on each app.
It just shifted.
It shifted.
Like the pie chart's the same. The same amount of time on your phone, but it's just all rearranged now. That's hilarious. And it makes you feel better.
It makes me feel so much better.
You're like, fuck it. Yeah. You're right though. It actually is just a wave of information, and you're plugged in on what the Instagram community knows, or what it deems like their algorithm deems as, oh, this is newsworthy, spread this, put this on the top of everybody's page and shit. And man, I catch myself on Instagram and TikTok too, bro. I'm still, because I'm trying to be a content creator on these platforms. I'm also consuming what are other people up to, but then 40 minutes goes and you just kind of have a headache and nothing changed.
Yeah.
You're
still in the same position. Your arm is cramping up. You're like, what have I been doing?
Yeah. You learned one thing, but liked 14 cottage photos.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. I don't even like the cottage.
That's the thing though. It's almost, I didn't like what I like about my setup now is that I'm not forced to I'm not bound to a specific channel, with Instagram, you're choosing who you're following and you're kind of putting yourself not in a box, but you're just, this is what you're watching every day.
Exactly.
Whereas with YouTube or Netflix or something, it's like nah, I feel like watching a scary movie tonight, so I'm gonna watch it. Or I feel like watching a video on how to make. The other day I watched a video on how to make the perfect egg. You know,
Yeah.
I was just like
enriching your life with.
Yeah, because if you spend the time that you're spending on Instagram, if you spend that honestly on any new hobby, anything, you're gonna learn something.
Oh, 100%. It's funny you said about the egg. have you ever Google or YouTube a way too simple how-to video and you feel retarded when you're watching it? Bro, when I was putting together this new setup, I got all these posters and I was all gung-ho about doing a nice job. So I Googled how to hang posters. And there's a guy just like putting double-sided tape on the corners. Exactly how I've done it for over a decade. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing right now?
He's like, you were right all along.
Yeah.
You didn't need to look this up.
Did you realize you were making the perfect egg, or you actually learned a lot? Were you fucking eggs
I was looking specifically at an over easy egg because my like I struggle with.
I'm about the over medium.
You're over medium?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm a little conservative with that. Just a little.
Like you like the runny yellow?
Yeah, like in the middle.
Yeah.
Enclosed. Whereas in over easy, it's the lightest done skin to keep that jelly in. Whereas over medium, it's cooked in a little bit.
You don't like the egg boogers. That's what you're saying. You don't like the.
It comes in over medium, but it's enough that you eat it with your toast and it's good. But over easy, there's no amount of toast. You need 4 pieces of toast to sponge up all the egg. And then now I'm full on toast.
Well, I think that's what
I've thought about this a lot. This is clearly, you know what I mean? Over medium, bro.
I think over easy for me is just an excuse to eat more bread.
Yeah, okay. If you have good bread.
It's a vessel for more bread. It's like when you're eating corn. Like, I don't know what comedian said this, but they're like, corn is just a vessel to eat more butter.
Yeah. Yo, 100%.
Yeah.
When anyone wants to make corn, I immediately am like, yes, I'm gonna butter the fuck out of this.
Yeah.
And society said it's okay.
Corn is huge back home in Egypt. They have like people selling corn on the street, and it's a very common thing. They have the actual coals burning.
I've seen it. Yeah, in Cairo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because it's a treat, you know.
Huge.
And they probably have toothpicks. I know they have toothpicks too.
Oh, for after?
Yeah.
No, dude, you're lucky you're getting. They don't have napkins.
Bro, I've seen. I feel like if I'm thinking about all the people I've ever seen with toothpicks, it's mostly Arabs. So I feel like if you're like a really good at corn sales guy, you'd have like you'd be selling them.
Maybe
give one here and there at your discretion.
Maybe, but I don't think they're not really thinking about the customer service. I mean, they're nice to you, but they're not like.
It's not like next level, like go above and beyond.
And they're not rude, but hey, you're here for corn. Here's your corn. You go, thank you.
Yeah, go to Mahmoud for toothpicks. Okay.
Yeah, you want napkins? There's a lady selling napkins in little packets at the corner.
Oh yeah. You can get seeds and cigarettes while you're there too.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, buddy. When we were in Egypt, my mom's friend, she has this like summer home in Alexandria, and she's like, in Egypt you can get things anywhere. Like you want something,
it comes to you.
It's just and you can just get it. Like so we go to this lady's summer home or apartment in Alexandria. And she's like, man, this place hasn't been open in a year, so it's dusty. And it really needs to be cleaned. She's like, I'm not going to spend an entire day. It's like an entire day's worth or half a day's worth of work to clean it up.
The house. 100%. It hasn't been lived there in a while.
No, it's been a year. It's a summer house, right? So the summer apartment. So then she's like, I'll get someone. I was like, from where? She's like, we'll just find someone.
And there's someone walking the streets.
I was like, what? She literally goes to the street corner. There's 3 or 4 Egyptian ladies sitting there. She's like, hey, you guys want to clean my house for some money? And they're like, yeah, okay. So then these 3 or 4 ladies, they come. Dude, they cleaned it. So it was like a NASCAR race. Like, you know, like they were doing that, but with a house.
Go.
Lifting up the lamp. The other one's wiping. This one's got a bucket, throwing it onto the window. Like, dude, it was cleaned in like an hour.
That's so funny, man.
Like
that's
3 or 4 of them. And it's just like. And this
bro, that's the industry everywhere else.
They're not advertising on Instagram. They're not. You know, just look at us. You want us to clean? We'll do it.
You got money? Yeah, fuck yeah. They've spent a lot of time cleaning in their life. This is just like a layup for them,
Light work, man.
Layup. Clean a house that hasn't been lived in 6 months. It was clean 6 months ago, and now it's just dusty. Yeah, okay.
Easy money for them,
man.
Wow.
Kill the floor, done.
Yeah.
Bro, that's how it is in Sudan too. Like, the people who live like in Sudan, we had an apartment. I just said this on another episode. We have an apartment in Khartoum, and it's an empty lot right next to it. And the way that the wealth disparity is in those countries, the people have just set up a tin. You've seen this in the lot up against our place, tin roof, and they're like respectable people. Yeah, they're not like slums, you know. The guy comes out with like a gamis that's all like he's ironing it.
Is that what you guys call it, gamis?
Yeah, like a shirt,
like a dress shirt.
Yeah,
we'll call it gamis in Egyptian.
Yeah, it's the same. Gamis, you guys just pull the G off, and Lebanese add the E at the end.
Yeah,
gamis, argili, my. You know what I mean?
Did I ever tell you about the Syrian teacher that I had? I don't know if I said this on the last podcast, but I went to school. So I was born in Saudi Arabia, but my parents are Egyptian.
Okay.
So we lived there because they had jobs there. But
yeah, my parents were the same. 6 years
thing, right?
in Jeddah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Riyadh,
yeah. Yeah, same, right? Yeah. So we had this I had this Syrian teacher in my school back home, and this guy in Syrian Arabic and Egyptian Arabic is just like just like much of the other Arab countries, it's like it differs. The slang differs, right?
Yeah.
Syrians tend to hold on to the end of it, like you were saying. Like they just go like in Arabic, in Egyptian Arabic, boy, walad.
Yeah.
Right? Syrian Arabic, boy is wala. Like they really hold on. There's that last part. Wala. شو العم عم تحكي. Like
it's always like a masrahiyya or whatever. Like it's always like a soap opera. Like how they extend it. It's always dramatic.
Dude,
Egyptians do it too, though.
We're very dramatic.
Very dramatic.
Yeah. But this teacher, man, I remember just sitting in class once. And I mean, I wasn't a bad kid. I was pretty good. But, I wouldn't listen sometimes or whatever. And still remember his name, Ustaz Badia. Badia. Ustaz is Mr., right? Ustaz Badia. And he was just like, I was sitting there talking to someone, and you could tell that I was that last straw that broke him.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me, and he was a little guy, like red hair, blue eyes. This is
in Saudi.
In Saudi. Lebanese, Syrian or...
Oh, Lebanese can be ginger. Yeah, Lebanese can be ginger.
Ginger, buddy. Ginger hair, piercing blue eyes.
Yeah.
Very handsome guy, but he was a little dude.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me, and he was like, Wala! شو العم عم تحكي? And he got up, I swear to God, bro, walked over to me. And you know those desks that have, like, it's like a chair attached to the desk? It's the one
piece? It's all one.
All one. This guy reached, grabbed me by the ear, grade 2, grabs me by the ear,
7.
and lifts me up, but my legs are intertwined in this desk. This guy lifted me and the desk up by my ear, bro. I'm hanging there, and I'm slowly, I'm like, he's like, شو عم تحكي? شو عم تحكي is like, what are you talking about, right? Like,
what are you saying over here?
Yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't think it hurts. Dude, I had massive ears, so it makes sense.
It was a good grab.
He got a handful, bro.
Like Michael Jordan, your ears
I grew into my ears. You know when you look like ultrasounds, baby?
Yeah.
It was just ears first. Yeah. I'm like, is that ovaries?
Was that Bambi? Where was Bambi the reindeer? Which one was the baby elephant? Bro, Bambi was the deer. Oh shit! I don't know anything about Disney. Bro, I wanted to say this earlier, but you notice how, I think I've said this before, you notice how if you leave North America, seeds and nuts are always 3 feet away from you.
Oh, man. If
you leave this continent, it's not just the Arab world. It's Africa, fucking Europe, everywhere.
You guys got shops too?
Oh, it's like the people in the corner with the box. In China, I saw the same thing.
Seeds?
Just like seeds, cigarettes, fucking napkins.
That's their diet, man. Just seeds and cigarettes.
Yeah, and the napkins are toilet paper. You go in with your own napkins.
That'd be
a
great album name. Yeah. Hey, just look out for my next album, Seeds and Cigarettes.
Yeah, that's actually great.
I don't even smoke cigarettes, but
that's my actual album name.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it for 4 years. Man, just admit Seeds and Cigarettes. I said it on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Oh man, but no, they have shops in Egypt. They have like seed, like nut shops, and it's like you want like pumpkin seeds, you want little sunflower seeds, you want cashews.
Oh, variety.
It's like and there's like shops that are just amazing at what they do, bro. Egyptians are very known for the. You're just, dude. I don't know if you knew this, but the way you sit in Egypt, or I don't know if this exists in the Arab world, but the way you sit in Egypt can be like disrespectful. I didn't know that. Like if I'm sitting and I'm crossing my legs and I'm sitting like this is okay.
Yeah.
This is all right. But the second I do this.
Oh, with the bottom of the foot.
With the bottom of my foot, buddy, I had a guy in Egypt come out of his house because my mom was shopping. Yeah. And I was sitting in front of this building and I found a plastic chair. It was like just a lawn chair or whatever. And I'm exhausted. So I sit down and I'm just like leaning back on it. And this guy comes out of the house and says,
what are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, he was just like a ma'allim, you know, ma'allim?
Yeah. He's just like a guy.
He's like, بتنزل رجلك. احنا ساكنين في البيت هنا, you know, and he just went nuts.
Dude, that's so funny.
I didn't understand. I was like, I don't understand. He's like, put your leg down. And I was like, but I'm comfortable like this. And I was like, oh, my foot is in your face. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he just like, yeah. And he just went back.
Walked off. Man, it's funny how some of that really old stuff never goes away. No. Like a country can have Uber, but you better not show me the bottom of your foot in that Uber. It's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? It's so some of that cultural stuff just sticks. Because think about that. That's the lowest part of, that's the bottom of your shoe. That's the lowest part of you. You're saying that I am to see the lowest. It's so like old and like hierarchy conscious. Oh, it's like, bro, I'm just like.
But I get it though.
I know. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm like, bro, I really like give the benefit of the doubt because I realize that so much anxiety comes from assuming the worst in what's happening around you.
Yeah.
So I just had to do like, and it's hard because my natural instinct is to assume the worst. But I feel so often I assume the worst, and so often it was. Had I given it the benefit of the doubt, it would have been exactly what happened.
Yeah.
The benefit of the doubt is usually what happens.
Yeah.
So if you can switch it to give the benefit of the doubt. I live easier, bro.
That's true.
But like part of me wants to be like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. His whole body is turned from me. He only turns his face back when he talks to me.
Yeah.
That type of shit pisses me off. Like total
dude, it's
body language disrespect.
Little respectful things. Like it's just like over there, I get like it's the foot thing is a big thing. Like the I don't know, you know what an effa is?
Effa, no.
Effa is the back of your neck.
Okay.
So in Egypt, you know, it's like disrespectful if you tap somebody on the back of their neck. Addik ala afak. That's like
that's where you pick up a dog. When you pick up a dog, you pick it up from the back of it like that.
Yeah, but like it's like not even like it's like a smack. Like if you're just like talking to someone, it's like sunning somebody.
Gotcha.
Like I'm big dogging you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, hey, listen, buddy. It's like patting them on the back.
Yeah, it's
but
some
patting
jail
them
shit.
on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Doing that is like it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
If you go up to someone, you do that, or you smack them on the back of their neck, it's a fight.
Oh, 100%.
It's almost like inherently in every Egyptian, if somebody dik ala afak, buddy, you're gonna fight.
You have to.
Dude, I've seen my uncle when I was a kid. One time we were in this, we were trying to cross the street. And microbus, you know microbus, like the little vans.
Oh, literally microbus. Microbus.
Yeah.
That is microbus. Oh, you mean microbus? Yeah, microbus.
But it's just a little van.
Yeah.
And some guy hanging out the window.
We had those too. And selling.
Yeah, he's like ataba, and he gives you a ride. He gives you a ride somewhere.
And he has cash going through his fingers like this, right?
Yeah.
Those guys always hold cash.
My mom counts money like that, bro.
Yeah. It's so like street salesmen in those Arab countries. Yeah, yalla. Come nafar, yalla. You know, like quick. How many people? Yeah.
So it's just this guy was like, he almost like hit my family now. We were crossing the street after we had some KFC, and this guy, I don't know why that's necessary.
Yeah.
KFC in the Arab countries is 10 times better than KFC in North America. I'm just gonna say in Arab, I've had KFC in Jamaica, bomb, amazing.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know why I'm shouting out KFC right now.
Yo, eat KFC. I'm a Popeyes guy myself, but I worked a year at KFC.
Did you?
Yeah, I put my time in, bro.
Do you know the secret recipe?
No.
They give it to you in a bag, don't they?
Yeah, it looks like salt and pepper flour and like 3 like chemicals, like MSG or some shit.
But there's something in there, you know. There's
100%. They say, ooh, we'll never say, but watch it be regular shit.
Yeah, and there's all these YouTube videos of like, hey, this is the KFC recipe. You're like, yeah, but it's not like it.
Yeah, right. And it depends on how fresh and how like use that oil they grill it in is in the flour, what they do to the actual, because they marinate the chicken before it gets floured.
Oh,
so all those things, and the flouring is what is the recipe, right? That's what gives it the crisp. So in the marination process before, maybe all that adds up. So maybe they do shit way better there, but I think they're all using the same packets worldwide, like the flavor packet.
No, man, I think it's different.
Oh, legit?
I think
you think it's just people just running it?
Dude, in Egypt, it tastes way different. The chicken parts are bigger. Like, last time I had KFC here must have been, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even. But it's like piece of, I don't know if that was like, maybe even, piece of chicken that's like this big, and you're like, it's a thigh. And you're like, this is a nugget. Like, how is that a thigh? What happened to this chicken? Like, it's crazy that in countries that are developing, they have bigger chickens, whereas here the chickens look anorexic, dude. It's like,
bro, but the factory farm chickens here are growth hormoned up. I don't know what they're using in like KFCs. Maybe the small. Actually, bro, the KFC I worked at, they bought chicken from Maple Lodge.
Seriously?
Maple Lodge trucks used to pull up. I was surprised. Maybe that's some Canadian food standard shit.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is every place, the country's food standards change. Yeah. Number one, right? And number two, I think if you are buying a legitimate franchise that is a secret recipe based thing, they have to send you the secret recipe, bro, or at least tell you how to make it.
That's true. That's true.
Whether and I don't know if they just tell every franchisee how to make it, because that'd be the most retarded.
Yeah,
they have like thousands of places, right? Mm-hmm. So they probably send you it as part of the agreement. You have to buy it from them and they send it to you.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking these other countries, they just call themselves KFCs and they're just fried chicken joints on their own recipe completely. And it's just way better.
Man, I don't know.
Because was Jamaica and Egypt tasted the same, or were they both just better than America?
It's definitely owned by KFC. I don't think it's somebody putting up the logo, because there's a bunch of them, and you see them in like areas where other like big chain restaurants like Pizza Hut exists or something. You know,
in Canada, every restaurant I go to, KFC has a consistent KFC taste because they use that packet.
Yeah,
it's consistent, so you don't go and it's weird here or there. It's
but
usually
if you compare the Canadian to the Jamaican, first of all, I mean, they have spicy chicken over there, which is, I think they kind of tried to have it here for a little bit, but it didn't really catch or whatever. But the spicy chicken over there is just like it's just next level.
How long did you go to Jamaica for?
I was there for a week. I've been
just
there.
like a resort, or
yeah.
Was it?
It was.
Did you see the actual country at all?
Yeah. We went.
The shades do not open. Yeah.
No. It was like we went on like excursions. We went to Dunn's River Falls, went up the falls, and then we went to this place. It was called the Luminous Lagoon.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, it was in Ocho Rios, and you just show up to this like place, and they have a bunch of boats docked, and you got to wait until it gets dark. But in the meantime, there's these two kids dancing. It was like this like young boy and girl, and they were just doing a number on stage, but they were dancing for like an hour.
Oh, fuck.
Nonstop. This guy was sweating buckets, and you're like, can we give this guy a break? Like, he's killing
for an hour.
For an hour. And just like the music's going, and the girl, and they're doing like this like African traditional dance, even though like Jamaica's not in Africa, but like
no one's asking questions.
But I think they're like pandering to the tourists. They're like, oh, they think we're black. We got to do something crazy.
African, I get you. Let's just play it to the market.
Yeah, but they weren't really like. But it was they killed it. They were amazing. And then once it gets dark, then you get on this boat, you go out into the water, and the water glows. Like you put your hand in the water and you move it, and it glows this like blue light. And
damn.
And then you go swimming in the water.
What is it from?
It's like there's like
the corals.
Yeah, it's like a microorganism that's in the water, where if the water is disturbed, this like blue glow like emits from the actual water.
That's so sick.
Yo, it's nuts, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy how many of those little like interesting novelties exist in the world. There's like a million of those. Like this cave, if you go in at this time, will light up and there's everywhere. There's.
You want to hear the
thing.
Crazy thing is that once we went for a dip, because they allow you to swim for like 10 minutes or something, and they take pictures of you in this water or whatever, and then you come.
Did you buy the tickets or the pictures?
Oh yeah, I mean I couldn't get them. Yeah. Your phone doesn't pick it up, so this guy's got a special camera that catches the blue glow around you, so it's really cool. But this guy, so I get back on the boat, and this British chick is fighting with this next guy, and she's like, "Mind your own business," and he was just like, "Yo, whatever, you're a pig," and he's like, I was like, "Whoa, I don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
But I just like sat and watched for a bit. Turns out that while we were in the middle of the water, this chick she was smoking a cigarette, because not everyone has to go swimming.
Yeah.
She was smoking a cigarette. She finished it, flicked it into the water.
Wow.
This water is a miracle, all right?
Yeah.
Bro, the fact that this body of water exists is miraculous.
That's so funny.
And
like
this
the level of disrespect.
Yeah, she just finished her cigarette and just flicked it into the water, and this guy went off on her. He was like, what are you doing? This is like, you know, she's like, mind your own business. He's like, no, you're an asshole. Like,
fucking bitch.
You know? Yeah.
What a bitch.
Throwing garbage into the water. Like, how entitled are you, you know?
And when the water's, like, I get it if the rule is don't pollute and the water's clearly polluted. That's one thing, right? Like, a lot of places are like that. Don't do it, but it's like...
Yeah.
Like, my buddy told me he was in Istanbul and, like, he would just see, like, people, like, at restaurants clearing tables... just pushing into the water. The restaurant would be like
on the water,
and they would just push just onto the. And he was like, "Holy fuck!" But like in Switzerland, bro, when I was there, that water is so the anti pollution laws are stringent. You'll like do jail time. They don't play. The water is blue and perfect, and you don't see a speck of anything. You don't dare fuck around.
No, in our countries, littering's not a big.
Yeah. People because they use the water as like. Because we're not like first world nations.
Yeah, no.
So they use the water to shower in. They use the water to make
also
clean
just,
clothes.
Just like if you're saying you're sitting you're sitting in a cafe and you're oceanside, and it's just like I was sitting on a patio and it was literally we're right next to the water, and this girl finished eating her meal, wiped her mouth, and threw the napkin into the water, and you're like. You just littered into the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Like, the Mediterranean, like, you're such an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
Some people just don't have that thing that goes, maybe not here.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe, people just don't have shame.
No.
It's all of Sebastian Maniscalco's hours. Yeah. Are those acts right there. Aren't you embarrassed?
Well, I think it's also...
Yo, can you bring the mic a little closer?
Oh, man, my bad.
You're a mic drifter, bro.
I am, man. My bad.
You could lock it in. I think you never locked it. The other way.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man, I gotta get a fucking better.
Oh, it's all good.
One day, brother.
My bad. Yeah, I think what it is also the sheer number of people that live in our like the population of Egypt is 100 million. The population of Canada is like what 31, 32 million.
Like 38, but still.
38,
yeah.
But dude, 100 million in a place that's way smaller. And it's also, they're all condensed in Cairo.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I think the most impressive stat would be how much of that is in the greater Cairo area.
Cairo, I want to say there's like 70 million.
Yeah, I want to say that's the crazy thing. Everyone is there.
The crazy part, too, is that the rest of Egypt, beautiful. You go to anywhere else.
Yeah, but it's countryside and like
not even
agriculture.
Dude, Alexandria is also very populated. Now they're really Alexandria's been around obviously forever, but
I've never been.
No?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
that's
beautiful.
Like the resorty area for the Arab country, right?
No,
From what I understand,
I would say that's more like Sharm. Sharm is more.
Sharm is that the island?
No. Sharm is also like it's off the coast of not the Mediterranean. I want to say, yeah, maybe the Mediterranean, but. A different part of it.
Is it resorty?
It's very resorty.
Okay, yeah. Because my buddy went to school and he grew up in Saudi, like a private school, and their graduation at the end of high school was to go to like something in Sharm and like all these stories. And stuff.
They're great.
It sounded just like a white culture like March break situation.
Yeah. Sharm is beautiful, man. Sharm is like. The water is so blue, and you walk so far out, and the water's still at your waist, and it's just like,
oh, that's awesome.
Like just white sand, and like, my goddamn man. Do you remember vacations? Remember that before COVID? Remember getting on a plane and being like, what is happening? And then in a couple hours, you get out, and it's sunny, and you're like, sick.
Man, I barely remember it. Even before COVID, I don't remember the last time I was on a plane for anything like recreational.
Really? Didn't you go to LA? You were in LA for a while.
Oh yeah, actually, that was February.
This guy, get out of here.
I swear to God, I forgot.
This guy, I haven't been on a flight in a long time.
Yeah.
This guy was just in Los Angeles.
And then it's like, it's just we do a flashback. It's the most lavish. It's just a music video.
Popping bottles.
Yeah. I think I went through LA. No.
Did you do stage time out
there?
Oh
yeah, I went to the what's it called? I want to say the haha. I wanted to say the laugh.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel right. It's called the haha, and you gotta pay fucking $5
really
to get in the draw.
Really, and it's a draw. So how much you pay?
I paid $5 and I got it. And I did a set, and it was interesting.
How long? How long was your set?
5 minutes. Five for 4 minutes.
That's crazy.
I think it was 5 minutes. $5, 5 minutes. And someone may correct me, but
and this is in Los Angeles.
This is in LA. Yeah, that's the only time I could do stage time. I tried. I have friends out there.
Yeah.
And I tried to get shows, and I asked in advance. But then when I got there, my friend made me realize that out of town guest spots are very difficult in LA.
Really?
Because there's so much competition and thirst for people that move to LA.
Yeah.
That like they're trying to get on the show. It's tough to be like, oh, this comic from Toronto is coming, so we gave him a spot. It's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's 40 people
it's like that in Canada.
Not to the degree of LA and New York, where it's like I think New York there's so many spots that maybe that culture doesn't exist.
I'm saying it's like that in Canada, where it's like, let's say I'm going to Edmonton from Toronto and I want stage time.
Yeah,
your priority because you're from out of town.
You're from Toronto.
Yeah,
that'd be like.
But that's also because you're upgrading. Like if you're going from Toronto,
if you're going from LA to Detroit, you're getting on stage, and you're like trying to get in the Detroit scene.
Yeah,
you're probably gonna get on stage.
That's what it is.
You come from a hub city.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
If you're going into a hub city trying to get at it, like that'd be like, yo, like my boy's coming in from St. Thomas, man. Can you get a guest spot on your show?
Yeah,
nah, dog.
I'm here from Sudbury, man. Yo, this guy's blowing up the scene in Barrie, Ontario.
Yeah, nah, bro, I'm booked tonight, man. You know what I mean? It's just savage. But if you say he's a New York comic, chances are people will be like, yeah, probably like the 6, 7. Yeah, I can probably get. You know what I mean?
LA
He's this guy from LA. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You almost don't want to say no.
It's just crazy how you attach LA or New York to anything and it immediately makes it sound more official.
Legit. Yeah.
Like you go like New York style pizza and you go
steak.
Oh, New York steak.
Strip. A New York strip.
New York cheesecake.
Yeah.
Just it's just cheesecake. Fuck that. Get that garbage out of my face. But then,
it's actually great though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and the New York strip steak is terrific cut.
But I was at No Frills the other day, and they had No Frills is a grocery store for people who don't live in Toronto. But dude,
imagine a place where you're done with the frills.
Yeah.
You're like, I just need a
bottom of the barrel groceries.
It's like no name. It's like the no name in a warehouse.
They had like New York style cheesecake in the frozen section. And I was like, yo, you can't call a no-name cheesecake New York to make it more. I was like, there's gotta be some sort of regulation for what you can add New York or Detroit. Also is another one. Detroit style pizza.
For a couple of things.
Chicago style
just for a couple of things, and Chicago is better than Detroit. But you're right, for LA and New York, it's almost across the board.
Yeah.
You can say it's a New York business school.
But it's also like comics come down here to Toronto from LA and they're like, man, we're from LA.
Yeah,
and then everyone's like, he's from LA. But in my head, I'm like, dude, there are garbage comics in LA as well. There's garbage comics everywhere.
Way more garbage comics. I mean, I'm not talking about the ratio, but numbers. There are way more garbage comics in LA than comics in Toronto, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Period. You know,
there
what I mean?
are good comics, and I know I know amazing comics from Los Angeles. But there's Angeles, but it's just
there's probably a couple of thousand comics in that area trying to make it.
Of course.
And like, 8 to 500 trying to like compete for like getting into feature work and
absolutely.
stuff, and like 100 like real headliners, or a couple hundred.
Dude, I know. There's a couple of good dudes, man. That when I go to LA, they're hilarious comics. They're just like their hustle's so different, man.
I love it, bro.
Yeah, we hustle to try to get onto like bigger shows or try to maybe get like small parts in movies or shows, whereas like. Their hustle is different, man. Their hustle's trying. I think it's also because it is the hub of entertainment. Their opportunity, like they get better opportunities. Like what's their glass ceiling here? Like getting on a Canadian TV show. The Boys.
Yeah, that's or like
Just for Laughs, maybe.
Oh, like as a comedian or as an actor?
Both.
Like our top show is The Boys. Even I think it's American, but filmed here.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Canadian. Man.
So I don't even know exactly. The ceiling is way lower than America. Is the point?
Yeah.
The whole appeal of America, it's that no ceiling place.
Yeah.
For this type of entertainment.
Of course.
That's where you go to the arena. That's the main arena of the world.
Yeah.
And there is no ceiling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I think it's also when like you look at the way comics in LA hustle, they're always looking for opportunity. Like there's always networking happening. Like I remember just going to this bar.
It's very fake.
It kind of is.
Very fake.
It kind of is, man.
It oozes, bro.
We went to this bar. We went to this bar, and the bartender that was there was a comedian. The guy that I was with was a comedian. We were meeting up with another comic who was bringing two girls, but the two girls they weren't bringing just to like, you know, two girls. They were bringing these two girls because they worked for like NBC or something like that. So
it's all like
so it was almost constructed in such a way. They're like, oh, you want to go to this bar? Okay, and then they get there. Coincidentally, the guy behind the bar is a comic. The two other guys I'm with them are, and they're on, dude. They're like, oh yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Cracking up the girls.
They're on.
And dude, I'm sitting there. I'm like, there's no space for me in this conversation because you're just. So I'm just like, I'm hanging out, you know. And it was like a business meeting, but they made it seem
it's like a date
hangout.
interview type vibe thing, right?
Yeah, man.
Where it's like. Everyone has a vested interest. It's like all like a business relation type dealings.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
These girls were cool. Like, dude, anytime one of those girls turned around to talk to me and find out more about me and they were like interested, a comic would just
Mo, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Let me tell you something about Mo. Okay.
So I remember. So Mo like was there, but like I showcased for like I got on this festival and like dude man, this reminds me when I was working on this show 2 years ago. You know, and you're like. Are you just sandwiching in your credits to take the spotlight back on you? And for me, I'm not a guy that chases. And maybe that's a fault because I should be chasing a little more, but I don't chase girls, man. I don't chase like jobs maybe, but like if it's for me, then yeah, but if it's for opportunities, I keep dignity, man.
Oh, 100%. It works in your favor.
I won't
it's the
sell
Sebastian model.
Yeah, I won't sell my soul to the devil just to get an opportunity. Like I'm good with where I am. I'm happy, you know, and where I am is a product of how hard I've worked. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't think that I deserve more than what I have.
Yeah. Merit will like the universe will dish you what you're ready to receive type of thing.
Exactly.
Right? When you put your time in, the next door opens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kevin Hart said on that Rogan episode. I don't know if you listened to it.
Yeah.
He said life has a game-like quality to it, and I couldn't agree more. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can knock on the door that you're not quite at, hoping they just open it. But in reality, if you just do the time and stay in it, you get to that level and it opens, you know?
Absolutely.
Or you could just be like, yo. I'm like 4 years in, but I'm trying to get a show for some reason. Not thinking that trying to like drastically accelerate the projection of this career could actually have a huge burnout effect here.
Oh, of course.
I don't have the skill foundation to support what might happen here. And that's all I'm like knocking toward that. But in LA, I felt that a lot. It was a lot more coke than I thought. I knew coke, but like New York's got. I knew that New York was cokey, but like I was surprised still. Like maybe it's just the age.
A lot of people doing cocaine in those.
Yeah. Like when I was there. Now with the people I like was crashing with and stuff like that. Man, I was hanging out with this one dude who I met in the comedy in San Francisco comedy. It's like some guy from. He's like grew up super Mormon in some from Utah, Salt Lake City. This guy named Jackson.
So he's from the hub.
Yeah, Jackson Richard Banks. He's like from Salt Lake City. Yeah, exactly, the hub. But anyways, now he's in LA. He's like some like fucking like way out there like video maker. He's been making videos on YouTube, just the open market of YouTube.
Yeah.
For like over 10 years. And like he's a comic too, and he's like a funny comic. He's like a very eccentric guy, you know what I mean? Like the type of guy who has it thing, right? Yeah. And he's just like, I went chill with this guy. Like his whole life, they're constantly making something. He's editing like 9 things at a time. He's like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're always going.
Yeah,
they're
he's
always
not
on.
At all worried about trying to make something for money. He's not worried about a job at all. He's literally taking like, he'll be like, yo, like I left my like food stamp or something like that. Yeah. And I'll like get a thing. Not to put him out there, but I'm saying like, 100% of the times in the art, and I'm like, bro, this guy's like,
yeah, they're next
these are
level.
the people that are not knocking on doors and will be the next people. This is the next name.
But for me, I think it's more in like it's about the joy of doing it, and it's about the comfort of doing it, and like like I started doing comedy because I like to make people laugh. And at some point during my career, it turned from I enjoy making people laugh to how can I make this career go further?
Yeah.
Right? So I got into it like, man, I like making my boys laugh. I like making audiences laugh. Let me do this.
Yeah.
But then at some point, I was like, all right, well, now I know I'm good at it. So how do I make money?
Yeah.
So how do I capitalize on this? And you get into that mindset, and depending on who you are, but sometimes I think that could be problematic, because what tends to happen is now you're just focused on this being a career, and your mind is always going, okay, what's the opener? What's the closer? Like, what should I, oh, that could be a joke. That could be a joke. And you're always looking for the next punchline, always trying. And at some point, I felt like I was starting to lose the like I'm not liking it anymore.
Yeah.
Like
it's become so much work.
Yeah, and I'm loving being on stage, and I'm loving telling jokes, but I'm not loving the other side, the always looking for opportunities. What's going on here? What's going on there? And it just seemed like it was like overwhelming. So now I remember I was in Montreal doing a weekend of shows with Norm and our buddy and a couple of other comics, and it just hit me. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to keep doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to doing this and really enjoying it and really having fun with it. And if things take off, then they take off. But I'm going to make it on my terms. Yeah. I'm not going to try to pander for like the ethnic networks. I'm not going to try to pander for all these TV. So you guys are looking for clean ethnic comedy. Okay, well, actually, my name is Mo, but my actual name is Muhammad. Yeah. And I try to play the brown card. I'm like,
I'm a nerd.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is me. And if I choose to talk about it, then I'm choosing to talk about it. But so many Arab shows that I've been booked on have been like, me and 4 other Arab comics, and every comic goes up is like, are you ever eating shawarma and you drop the hummus and I got hummus on my shirt, hummus problems, #hummus problems.
Yo, that's right? Abdullah, man. He kills.
You're like, dude, I'm tired of these shows, bro. I can't keep doing this. Like, and then I get up and I'm talking about living here. I'm talking about something other than that. And the audience is like frowning. I'm like, well, because you guys got 4 textbook picture perfect Arab comics with, so you expect me to fit in that mold. And
like the exact comics at the wedding.
Yeah.
Wedding comics. Yeah. Wedding comics, like a collection of wedding comics. And then a comic like on a show. Yeah. It's like one of them, you almost seem like aggressive. And why is that guy so aggressive and mean? Like, he's the comic. They're all just like, my wife.
Airplane food. Like, no, exactly. Man, I can't. Anything hacky like that, it just gives me shivers. I can't, I can't, dude. It gives me chills.
Yeah, man, you're so right. And this is, like we were just talking before the podcast, that it's such a wild west of an industry with zero book. There's like 5. If you get into comedy, there's like 5 books, 6 books. A couple of them on how to write jokes, and like a couple of them on like the industry, maybe, and like some biographies, like Steve Martin and this and that, right? But besides that, it's just kind of like, go out, keep doing as much as you can, get funny, and then when you get funny, hopefully people will see you, and the ones who run shows that always have people, they will start booking you, and then you'll be constantly doing shows that always have people, and then the clubs will be interested, and then you'll constantly have club work. And so it's like, okay, so this is the idea they preach you, but you keep doing the thing, and sometimes those steps where they're like, and then they'll acknowledge you, doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to happen in a year or 2, and you're 4 or 5 years or whatever into it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on who you are. People work at different speeds. Like, some people have a natural talent for it. Like Chappelle.
100%. But Chappelle also started when he was 14.
But that's what I mean, right?
And, bro, his first comedy special, Killing Them Softly, he was 27. Yeah. Think about that. That's 13 years.
But he was on Just for Laughs at like 19.
Oh yeah, because he was he's a prodigy. He was a prodigy.
No one's like
but you can do. You know how it is with Just for Laughs. You just need a 7. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to. Dave Chappelle is like, no. I'm not trying to belittle Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, like so you get a 7, and then you're bigger than Dave Chappelle.
But it's like I did that. That's what took me so long. That's almost stopped me from doing comedy for so long.
What?
Is thinking that some people were just like yeah, I'm not a comedian. It's gods like Dave Chappelle, God level comedian that can only do it. Yeah. But the truth is, his first special he didn't release until 13 years into the game.
Yeah.
Which is so common. Like that is tried and true, straight up years. It's not like he dropped that when he was like 5 years in and we were just like, we can't even make sense of it.
No.
That's actually more Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, when he dropped his shit, he wasn't that long into the game.
No.
And he dropped like an hour that was like a historic hour, you know?
2 or 3,
Delirious
actually.
and Raw.
Delirious Raw, and then there's like a third one.
That no one remembers.
Yeah. But it was still good. Like he
wasn't like grinding forever, and like from what I understand, he just had it. You know what? A lot of his special was attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like he had that attitude figured out.
He was on SNL at that point.
He was just like he was almost in my mind like on that. He was more of like that thing where it's like that tells normal guys, okay, don't fuck with this in path.
He was like Kevin Hart when Kevin Hart started blowing up. And
yeah, I think he did even faster.
Bigger,
he was, because that was back at a time where I think there wasn't a lot of black stars, and he came up and he was so clearly understanding like the nuance of white culture too.
Yeah.
And he could sing, he could dance, he could do everything, and he was smart and he knew how to make white people laugh.
Of course.
That he just shot through everything, right? And black people loved him. You know what I mean?
To find that balance is difficult, man.
Tough.
It's not easy.
That's tough. Chappelle used to say he used to have like I forget what comic said, but Chappelle used to have trouble in the black rooms because he came up in the white rooms.
Yeah.
Chappelle came up in like the white circuit of DC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know? So it's like,
well, I think that's kind of the natural progression of a comedian, where you start out not like, you might be kind of funny when you start out, but nobody really starts out that funny.
No.
It's very, very small percentage.
Maybe a show here and there is hilarious, but like,
so then you start out, and then you start being funnier to just your like your neighborhood, you know, like your life, like like Toronto funny,
your people,
Like I remember being like Scarborough funny. Anytime I performed in Scarborough, I killed.
Yeah.
But I go downtown and I bomb. And I was like, what, dude? I just drove 20 minutes. I was getting applause breaks, and now it's like people are hating me, like hate. Like not even like he's not funny. Like yo, I want to fight this guy. I'm gonna throw hands right now. So then eventually I go, okay, all right. So I gotta get Toronto funny, and then you become Toronto funny, and you go, okay, well now I want to be Ontario funny, because then you go to, you know, an hour and a half outside of Toronto in those small ass towns, and you're not doing well. Yeah. And you're like,
your shit doesn't make sense.
And I'm like 3-4 years in, I'm like, how am I still not doing well? And then you start to realize, you go, oh, the recipe is to really be universal. Like to be funny in any situation. Like any of those great comedians, you know, they're funny. Like they can kill it in Toronto,
wherever they are.
They can kill it in Africa, they can kill it in Europe.
Yeah.
So to be universal like that is really a big part of the game. And when you start out, you just think, oh, funny. Like I gotta be funny. It's like, no man, you gotta be likable. People have to look at you talk and be like, you know what? Actually, I'm enjoying listening to him talk or listening to her talk.
Yeah, otherwise it's an upcurrent swim, you know?
Some of these comedians that are like big comedians that are established now will release specials, and the specials are trash, but they're huge because, you know, they're likable. Yeah. So in terms of joke content, it's not that funny.
Your likability can take a lot of the weight.
Of course.
Yeah, so like Patton Oswalt's recent special.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Which I actually liked, and he had a bit in there about Denny's, which watch it for that bit and it's one of his closing bits. Yeah. It's the fun. You've been to Denny's, right?
Of course.
Bro, it is the funniest thing. It is the most accurate bit about Denny's. He wrote this bit. It's called, I forget what the special's called, 50 minutes or
I don't know.
I forget what it's, I love everything or something like that.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt loves everything or something. But yeah, that closer on Denny's, bro, is fucking amazing. But the point is that a lot of it you could tell was his diehard. They didn't give tickets away. These are Patton Oswalt fans that came to this taping. Yeah. So it's like, you see with Dalia's recent specials, it's like, I'm taping in front of my direct audience because the way this shit is killing, it's just like, I'm just doing my thing now. It's like,
Dalia's a whole other story with, he's been in the media lately.
Yeah. Okay, man, that's bullshit about that too.
You think so?
Like, no. If they're underage and if he did anything,
make sure the sponsors get this.
Yeah, exactly. Drink Evian water. I was telling Mo, we're doing the reverse ad scheme here on the Immigrant section. We plug things first, and then we follow up with the manufacturer.
Yeah, such disrespect to Biggie's face,
yeah,
too.
Exactly.
You're like,
yeah. Evian by Biggie Smalls. What was I even saying?
You were talking about Dalia.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's bullshit.
He sent text to some girl and they showed the picture of her. She looked, you don't know what the age is. She looked like 18, 19. Mm-hmm. Turns out she was possibly 17 at the time. But we're acting like people in their bios of Instagram just have their age. 17. You know what I mean?
Did she Did she have her age?
No.
So he just
they didn't show that. If that was the case, then it's like, okay, if that was her thing at the time, this is a tough case for you. But like she shows his DMs and stuff like that. She doesn't say anything.
How did they meet?
He just slid in her DM. He goes, I found you. They showed the screenshots of the DM. He's like, what does he say? For the main one that ended up being 17 possibly. So all these allegations came of him doing like Epstein. It's like Dalia Epstein, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like he texted a girl that was possibly 17 is what it is.
But I thought it was a couple.
It was a couple, but a couple of like him being, I don't know if they were all underage stuff or him just being like, yo, what's up? I'm in town type of thing. You know what I mean? More of like using his like celebrityness.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. That's on the side. But for that girl, he slides in the DM. He goes like, he goes, what did he say? He goes, I randomly stumbled on your account and I'm messaging you now. Is that bad? Question mark. Yeah,
he's just a dude trying to run game.
Yeah, exactly. It's just game.
But you'd expect something more respectable from somebody of that
status. 100%.
Like he's not like you're.
Bro, he was 36 at the time of doing this. So even if she's 18. I'm like, bro, it's a scumbag. It's like, come on. Like, I mean, whatever, do your thing. But I just don't think of him being like painted as a pedophile or this or that. No, it's just him being a shitty character and really trying to get laid on the road by like celebrity means. It's more of what it is. It's a stink on things.
I don't know, man. I think it's crazy because it sounds like he's canceled. And it looks like he's just kind of like.
I think he's weathering the storm.
You think so?
What he did is definitely less than Louis, right?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess did he just DM them? Was there anything that was done with these girls?
That's the only proof. Actually, I don't even know.
I don't know.
I didn't read fully into this thing.
I mean, there's got to be. If
I just know DMs, he tweeted a very like lawyer statement. I have never been knowingly involved with any underage thing, like using the word knowingly. But then
at the end,
when you see knowingly, you're like, oh fuck, a lawyer.
At the end, he's like, I am so sorry. You know, it was like, hold on, so you're apologizing, which is, I get the apology.
It's a lawyer move.
But if you didn't do anything wrong, then why are you apologizing?
Yeah, but again, it's like the climate.
It's just that's what it is. The accusation's enough, right?
Yeah, he's saying, if she was 17, if I DM'd a 17-year-old girl accidentally, my bad. That's not against the law. Nothing happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nothing happened in the thing. If she was 17, okay. If we hooked up and she was 17, that's a whole court case. That's a different thing. Well, I don't think that's what they're saying.
I
think you're saying he's been messaging possible underage girls type thing.
Yeah. It happened with Akon a couple years ago. Remember that? Where he was at a concert. He was at a concert. He's performing, and then this girl was dancing. He dry humps that chick? And she was I watched that video.
Yeah.
But she was like, she's 15. But dude, you see the pictures. Thrown. She looks like she's 25.
Yeah.
And he took her backstage. And
I didn't see that part.
There's no evidence.
Yeah, there's no video.
I think there's video of just her grinding up on him.
Yeah.
And then he just, after the show, apparently he took her backstage and hung out with her. There's no one's ever come up with any proof that anything happened, but obviously it was in the media because she was 15 and you don't know. But I'm like, as an artist, like, you have to also try to think ahead. You can't be that stupid to just pick any. Not that it's stupid to pick a girl and dance on her, because at the time, this was at the height of his career.
And Akon was big.
He was a huge celebrity, and he was
like
ripped.
2008.
He was cut, man.
When was this? 2007.
Something like that, you know.
But his whole fucking album cover was that.
Yeah.
Abs.
Yeah. So,
abs from Senegal.
So girls,
Senegalese abs. Yeah.
But, you know, that's a guy, though, that even though I like to rip on him, he's done a lot of good, man.
I actually read into this recently. He's like the guy in Senegal.
Dude, he's the guy in Africa.
Oh, that big? Dude, I just know he's taking care of shit in that country. Like, he could be president.
He's providing electricity for, like, this huge... I don't know if it was just a specific country or a couple of countries, but he provided, like, electricity to them. He's doing a lot.
Yeah,
man. He's a guy that's doing good with his money.
That's why you don't hear his name anymore. He's out there making an actual difference. Doing good things. Doing good. No one talks about good shit.
No, but that's how you know he's a good dude.
Exactly.
Man. The guys that... This is what kills me, man. And you see this on Instagram all the time, is that those guys that I'm like, yo, man, this homeless guy is so hungry. Yo, check this out.
Oh, that's
yo,
the worst.
homeless guy. You hungry, homeless guy?
Yeah.
All right, yo, here's racks, man. Yeah. Here's 10 G's. And the homeless guy's got no teeth. Oh, my God.
And he's ODing in 8 minutes.
Yeah. And
in the same alley.
You're just showing this guy in his worst form, and you're showing that you're a piece of garbage for not being able to do a good deed and
without coverage,
not televising it. I mean, like, look at how good I am.
TikTok is TikTok. You see the worst of that. It's like the guy held the camera on the homeless dude, and he's narrating it. I saw this man today, so I went in the store, and he's like grabs a thing, and he puts the arm on the counter, and he grabs it, and he's handing it to the guy with the phone. That's the shittiest thing. Imagine handing the food, the help, the aid while you're recording it. That's the most shittiest.
To me, that's worse.
That's society.
That's worse than not giving him anything.
It is.
Don't give it to him.
Yeah,
dude.
Exactly.
Because at this point, you're berating this guy
with the hand where you're getting it all in one shot.
POV.
Is the most. It's the most now disgusting, fucked up ethical shit.
I get so mad, man. I get so mad when people are televising.
And it has so many likes and it goes viral. That's. They're like, whoa, look at this selfless act.
Well,
it's
they're
going
fishing.
viral.
This guy's fishing. This guy's life is missing something, and he's filling the void in his life by being like, look at how good I am.
Yeah.
And here's,
It blows my mind that some people don't have like the know that, yo, that's how does that that's the worst. Like, do I want to be? This is the bottom. Like, this is a dweller. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man.
A leech. You're like a leech on fucking empathy.
So I took off all social media off my phone, man. I'm not doing it I'm not promoting. It's COVID, so I'm not promoting shows.
Yeah.
So I just took it off, man. By the way,
I respect you, bro. But check out my TikTok.
Yo, check out this guy's TikTok. If you're a fan of me, check out his TikTok.
No, I'm gonna cut your shit. You won't see it, but you're gonna have videos. Bro, I'm gonna watch me cut a video of you being like, I'm off Instagram, and it gets nothing. Instagram blocks it. Look, as soon as I went off Instagram,
I'm on YouTube.
It just gets cut.
I'm on YouTube, so you can find me on YouTube. I'm still on Facebook, but I'm just not on Instagram, man. And I took it off my... You know what, man? This COVID has been so interesting because the first month, I was going insane. I'm very extroverted. I'm always out doing shows almost every night. I'm always keeping busy, seeing this person, that. Like, I'm just a person who's always out of the house. You understand?
Same.
So the first month that I had to stay in the house, I was going ballistic. I was going nuts. Little things, man. Because the thing is, I was like, you start to notice that because our lives are so busy, a lot of the things that you're supposed to be dealing with yourself, you don't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to be dealing with this thing internally, but what am I going to do? Let me just go hammer out a set. Let me go try out some new jokes.
Yeah.
Let me get some what do you call it?
Acknowledgement. Like, let me get love.
Let me get some recognition, and then I come home and I feel good about myself.
Yeah, and you don't have to address this.
But I've completely avoided the thing that I'm supposed to think about.
Yeah.
So then what I started to do is after that month, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start looking inside instead of trying to dodge it by doing other... Because I was trying to keep myself busy, but I was like, nah, man, I'm going to face this head on. In addition to that, it was Ramadan. So I was fasting. Damn. I wasn't doing anything at all. I was just trying. I wasn't getting... Because in Ramadan, you can't get mad. You can't do anything. So I'm just
swear.
You can't swear. I cut out swearing. So I just, and I faced it head on, and it broke me hard, man. I went into this weird place in my mind where I was just discovering things about myself, certain insecurities, certain things that I've never dealt with for years, and then I was like, and then I started working out, man. I still am. I'm working out every day and like trying to eat clean, and working out during Ramadan was a whole other thing because you're fasting all day.
That's just willpower.
Oh,
that's
buddy.
all willpower.
That month, I think that was one of the most impressive months of my life, because I was just fasting, I was praying, and I was getting in shape, eating clean. Dude, I was jacked. And I'm still I'm all right now. You can't tell because I'm sitting in this weird Buddha angle. So it's just, but dude, from what I was to what
That's amazing, man. What did you take, like when Ramadan ended and you were eating back?
Yeah.
And like you still have the after effects of all of it, right?
Yeah.
You know what you took from it? Do you know like what, once we all go back to regular and it's not COVID anymore, what you'll go into it like, was it anything stand-up related that you were like, I want to do more, I want to do less, I'm going in the right direction? Was it just more like very personal, like?
This was personal, man. Yeah. This was beyond stand-up. Like, I think because for
like
the past...
existentialism.
Well, for the past 10 years, stand-ups consumed my life.
Yeah.
So it was all about the next joke, the next show, the next showcase. Oh, this festival is going to happen, so I got to send my tape. I got to make sure I have a tight 7. I got, and I was just like... To get a break from all that, and also working as a teacher, like to get a break from that too. I took a break from It was so interesting when COVID happened because everything I had worked so hard for had come to a halt. So it's like stand up for 10 years, stop.
And there's almost no other circumstance besides the
almost
pandemic.
to a month. It was like March was 10 years. I was planning on recording like an hour, and I was like, this is a 10-year, this is going to be a stamp, a decade of doing this. I'm going to just go ahead and, put something down. I was starting to work things out, and I was like, this is good. Work was all right. Like I had just, this was my first year of teaching full time. So I was like, all these things were popping off in my life. And then COVID happened, and it was like the rug pulled from underneath me. And I was like, holy shit, everything that I worked hard for is gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the next time I'm going to set foot in a classroom will be as a teacher. I don't know when the next time I'll be on a stage will be. So it was the worst thing that ever happened, but it was the best thing that ever happened. Because I was like, I need to take a look on the inside and find fulfillment from within rather than seek it from other... Dude, I sit here and I look at my accomplishments about any festivals that I've been on, any shows any big comedians I've performed with. I look at my accomplishments as a teacher and all the degrees that I have. None of that means shit. None of it means anything, man, because it's all... People use it to make themselves feel better, whereas you're supposed to be making yourself feel better from inside.
Yeah, like it starts with... that is one of my regrets. And what's funny is I think as I get older, I'll probably end up being fasting some of the Ramadans. I'm in this period of like, I grew up militantly having to fast it.
Right.
So now I'm like, nah, I'm not fasting. I'm doing what I want.
You're breaking the mold.
I'm breaking the mold. Yeah. And I haven't for a couple of years, but still like... Now it's like what you describe happened to my friend. I see the benefits of it happening. But what the way I take it on is I've like a couple years ago I've taken on meditation. So I try to meditate every day.
It's great.
You know what I mean? And that really helps with essentially that thing of just like you can't keep running from this, because the same thing happened to me, right? Like I'm literally just facing my own thoughts, my own insecurities, whatever, day in, day out. At the beginning I was like trying to watch all the movies.
Yeah.
Right? But eventually I got to a point where I'm like feeling pretty good, and I was working out a while. I was going to Johnny Bad. I don't know if he's like a personal trainer, and he's got a gym hookup and stuff. So I was actually working out one-on-one and shit.
Nice.
But when the George Floyd thing happened, something weird happened for me as a black guy.
Yeah.
I started doing all of the like necessary reading I should have done a long time ago. It's almost like informing yourself of like the context of being black in America specifically.
Of course.
But Canada is a runoff of that culture so much. You'd be stupid to think otherwise, right? It's the same shit here pretty much.
Yeah.
But like, bro, I'm watching the documentaries like, like on Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, Fela Kuti in the like 70s, like James Baldwin, like just reading.
James Baldwin's an amazing person.
Amazing person and author. I just got his book, The Fire Next Time, and I just it's 2 essays. I bought it because I had to put on hold in the Toronto library. I'm like, fuck it. I bought it, read it that day, and then I just reread the first essay. He's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
And like, I almost, I had this weird thought that like there wasn't, I was like, very naive now that I realize it, and I take it head on, is that I thought that the reason maybe black culture didn't accelerate after Jim Crow fell, maybe the reason they didn't accelerate is black people weren't being ambitious enough. And maybe it took a couple generations for us to be as well spoken and as well this and as well that as white people, because they were so historically fucked up and disenfranchised. But then when I read James Baldwin, I realized there's this smarter person than I am right now in 1940s Harlem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, single achievements or single intellect could not overcome the fucked up society of that time. And it's amazing to find this person that was like, I'm like moved by his writing.
Oh yeah,
he's an amazing writer. Incredible. And what he saw was his story is like really incredible. And just coming across that and just being like, that's crazy. They never teach you about this. I've never even heard this name until I went in the deep, like reading about like the new Jim Crow, the new slavery is now just mass incarceration.
Yeah,
right.
Of course,
because they don't have to call you nigger anymore. They just got to call you felon.
Yeah.
And now you have the exact same set
it's equivalent. You're
standard.
locked up. You can't vote. You can't do
vote.
Anything.
You can't get welfare. You can't get housing. It's the same thing. Just do the frisk search for all the teens in the ghetto areas.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have weed. We'll get them in the system quick. Yeah. And we make money by every inmate that goes in because it's a privatized prison. It's just like slavery. And
dude, it's brutal, man. It's brutal. I can't. That's the problem also with. I mean, look, the curriculum that most school boards go by, whether it be in Canada or the States, is beneficial and it's very good, but there needs to be more done with respect to learning about different cultures, with respect to learning about life, with respect to learning about yourself. Because I think a lot of it is like, okay, so we need to make sure you're good at math.
Yeah, right.
Because math is a big part of life. I get it, you know. You want to be able to count things. You're buying oranges. If you don't know how many oranges to buy, when you're just looking at a pile of oranges, you don't know. So it's like you need to know certain basics. But at the same time, it's like, I think that in my childhood, there wasn't enough that was done for me to figure out who I am. Like, I know who I am. I obviously know who I am, but I'm saying, like, self-reflection in terms of like what your hobbies are. What kind of person are you? My brother was a phenomenal soccer player. To this day, he's a bigger guy, but he's a beast. He's so good, man. His footwork is unreal. He's very skilled. He can shoot. He can pass. He's got a good eye for his team. Like, he's one of the best. And when he was younger, he was in high school, he wasn't doing too good academically. So he would skip school. We had a soccer field across the high school that we went to.
Okay.
And it was like one of those indoor ones, like indoor soccer arenas.
Okay, yeah.
And he made friends with a guy that owns it, or the superintendent or whatever. My brother would skip class to go by himself and play soccer. And
that's love, yeah.
That's dude, and he would come home and
that's some Michael Jordan shit.
Dude, my dad would get a call from the principal and he'd be like, "Hey, so Ahmed wasn't in class today for fourth period for third and fourth." And my dad would go, "Oh," so immediately he thinks my brother's A, doing drugs, B, he's with a girl,
he's a pimp.
Or he's doing something that's not supposed to be done. So then he would just like. He would give him shit. He'd be like, you know, are you doing drugs? Did we just slave to bring you to Canada for you to do drugs and hang out with girls? My brother, he's always been good with ladies, but at that time, he wasn't going to hang out with a girl.
Just obsessed with soccer.
Obsessed with it, man. This guy, when I went into high school, because he's 5 years older.
Yeah.
When I went into high school after him, he had paved the road so well that other dudes were like, "Yo, are you Ahmed's brother?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "All right, yo, you're Mini Ahmed." They were calling me Mini Ahmed for like a good year or two.
Yeah.
And they would have stories about it. He was a legend.
That's amazing.
They're like, "Yo, did you know that your brother one time scored a goal from the center of the field?" And I was like, "What?" And teachers were telling me this. Are you Ahmed's little brother? Your brother scored a goal from the center of the field. Dude, my brother.
The janitor comes up. Are you Ahmed's brother? Yeah, I know. He scored a field from the... No, he owes me $40. Yeah. Tell him I'm still waiting on it. No, fuck.
Dude, he would put. I remember the day he came home. He told me that. He goes, "Yo, man, I scored a sick goal today." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, man, from the center of the field." I was like, "Okay. Yeah, right, bro." And he's like, "No, man, I did." And I was like, "All right." So I heard about it for years, but I never actually got any proof. When I went to high school,
he was a legend.
Dude, he was a legend. He was a legend.
You know how legends work too. As soon as you leave that school, it doubles.
Yeah, man.
As soon as you're not there still, the stories double. That's how they go.
Oh, man. And also the fact that he wasn't
right?
He wasn't a good student. And they made him, they made him like, they banned him from playing on the soccer team because his marks were bad.
Oh, actually.
They took that away from him. He was a great soccer player. He had a gift of being an amazing soccer player, but they're like, because you're not performing well in the academic subjects,
doing math.
Yeah, you're not playing. Imagine that, man. Imagine the potential that this guy could have had.
Yeah.
But they took that away from him because his marks weren't on point. And that right there is, I think, is some form of like, not discrimination, but you're forcing someone to do something that's not natural to them.
Yeah.
Like, look, I can make people laugh. I'm a comedian. But you take me, you put me, you give me a scalpel, and then you ask me to do heart surgery. Like, I'm not the guy for that. Not even that extreme. You asked me to give somebody an injection. I'm not the guy for that. Like, it's not in me, dude. I tell jokes, and I can teach people lessons. Life and math lessons. I can teach you all sorts of lessons. But you can't.
Would they still do that now in the curriculum as you know it? Would they still take like a sports? Because I know in the States the culture's not like that, especially for like football, basketball.
Any sport.
They respect it over academics. They're like, just figure out we'll tutor him. We'll tutor him.
Yeah.
This kid can't get off the team.
Oh, dude, we went to
scoring 4 touchdowns a game.
Yeah, we went to. I can honestly give you a solid review of every tutoring house in Toronto. Like, my mom took me and my brother to all these because we weren't stupid kids. Like, we weren't dumb kids. Right? It wasn't like we were smart, but that's the problem. Is like, I don't think kids are dumb. There's no dumb kid. There's just kids that are uninterested in whatever it is that you're giving them. But the second you give them something that they are interested in, you've got their attention. So to be a good teacher, you got to find out what your kids are interested in, the kids you're teaching, and then go from that interest into what you want to teach. You don't just go, all right, 2 times 2 is 4.
Yeah.
You know, like you just go, no, okay, so what do you're playing on you like basketball, you're playing on a basketball team, all right? Let's say you're playing 2-on-2. How many people is that? Okay, 2-on-2. So like 2 people 2 times, right? 2-on-2. Okay. So what if it's 3 people? So that's 2-on-3, or 3-on-3 or 3-on-2, right? Or 3, like you just kind of try to tie it into different things. And yeah, man.
What year range did you teach?
I'm teaching elementary school, so I'm teaching. This past year, I was. Is
that harder or like? I feel like morally that's harder, but like physically teaching high school would probably be harder. But like you have the weight of the fact that you can, like teachers in grade school that I have. Grade school, I have all of my memories of the time that I was a class clown and something happened I didn't let, and something bad happened, or 9/11 happened in grade 5. I remember that, like all these things. And then in high school, I just remember I'm like forming into a person. You're in a clique. In grade school, kind of anything can go. So I feel like a teacher has a lot more of like.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think as an elementary school teacher, you forget. I mean, not you forget, but because you're doing it so regularly every day, that you sometimes tend to not think about how huge of an impact you're making with every little thing that you do. And you might not see the immediate result, but things you tell these kids, they're like sponges. It sticks. Everything sticks. So the question of whether it's harder to teach elementary or high school, I think they both have their own challenges. Like high school, you get into the age of the hormones, the age of now you're hitting puberty.
Yeah,
the guys,
smart-ass.
The smart-ass remarks. Yeah. The kids that will say things that they will outsmart you. In elementary school, they outsmart you, but it's more. You have your arsenal of information is way more full than theirs, so you outsmart them overall. They can outsmart you once in a while.
Gotcha.
But in high school, they're just like, oh, like, I don't need
You're
this.
Like 80% there. They just don't know tax yet.
Yeah.
And like getting mortgages. And besides that, you're the same.
That's
yeah. You know what I mean?
They're like, yeah, well, tell me when I'm ever going to use algebra. And the real answer is, as a as any given person, there's a good chance you may never use it again, but it is in the curriculum and it's something that the system has decided that you need to learn. And I'm just the person here doing my job in teaching that. I think it is beneficial, but do you need to know quadratic functions? Like,
yeah,
you might not, you know what I mean? So
let me ask you this, because we're coming up on an hour 15.
Yeah.
But I'm interested about this.
Yeah.
Like, in the grade school curriculum, as you know it, what are things that need to be removed and what are things that need to be added?
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that without getting in trouble. But
all right, thanks for yeah, just cut
it. I mean,
no pressure. Like, I'm not looking for like an official thing, but I feel like I know in high school they're pretty much like removing like I forget what it's called, like vocational schools, like trade schools. That's kind of dying. That's fizzling out.
I don't think so. No.
I think that from what I understand, that's fizzling out, and like so wood shop would fizzle out, and computer science, extra computer science classes would fizzle in.
Yeah, in certain areas.
I wonder on the grade school, like what needs to change. Like, are they gonna add like coding stuff?
Well, they just recently changed the math curriculum to add coding.
That's just I think like the earlier, because coding is not that difficult. Like the basic thing of it can be taught very early to just give your brain that basic understanding of, okay, this is how this thing works. It's not that difficult, right? So I feel like that could actually go into like a grade 6, 7, or 8 curriculum.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, you know what, man? This is the interesting thing about the curriculum, is that it's always evolving. At least the Ontario curriculum, it's like, you know, we're lucky because you know, it's subjective. You know, some people might agree with some of the things, some people might disagree, but it's good because they're you know, I think if anything, it should just be updated regularly. Like, not wait a couple of years before updating it, revisit it every year. And I think people already do that. Like, maybe the board already does that. But I mean, I don't know what the position is of the person that has to do that. But I'm just saying, have material relate to current situations a little more, and access to resources. But I will say this, I had the choice between teaching elementary school and high school. And I remember thinking about it. I'm like, do I want to be working with little kids or like mature kids? Yeah. You know, and I was like, not that all high school kids are mature kids, but I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go elementary, because I think there was like 1 week where I just noticed at least 3 videos that went viral of teachers either getting knocked out, choked out, or getting beat up. And I can't have that. Yeah. I can't have that, dude. At least in elementary school, you're still a little bigger. So if a kid comes and starts swinging at you,
you got your weight.
You can you know redirect them, or keep them at bay.
You get knocked out in high school.
But dude, even in like by the time they reach grade 8, they're big kids, dude. Yeah. They're like, dude, I know grade 8s that are like 6'2", you know, 260 pounds. You're like, this kid, if he just
eat you for breakfast, bro.
I would be
no
done.
Trouble with you at all.
You know, those are the kids that you can't give orders to. Those,
yeah. Steven, you crazy.
You're like, hey, man, you want to? It's like, hey, it's a test. You gotta put your books away. It's time for the test, you know. And he's like, I'm not doing it. You're like,
nah, I'm looking through.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not.
Like,
I'm cheating on this test. Well, Steven, you really can't.
Yeah, he puts his feet up, lights a cigarette. Yeah. He's like, all right, man, you can give it to all these other kids, but I'm good. I'm taking a smoke break. But dude, no, that's I couldn't. I saw. Have you ever seen that video of Cat Williams getting choked out?
Oh yeah, I love that video. That's the one where he gets hit and he pretends like he wanted to be on the ground.
Yeah,
his choice. He plays off the punch.
Yeah, he's
as if
sitting
he wanted
down.
To
he's
be,
got grass all
like
over
you're
his
comfortable.
pants.
You're like, bro, you got punched down there. Don't play it off like you're lounging.
I have two of my ultimate fears, man. Is getting choked out by a little kid in front of a group of people, or the video going viral.
You have to quit teaching.
Yeah, and my second, I'm staying elementary. I'm staying in the younger grades that can't choke me out. The second fear of mine is getting crossed out in basketball, like in front of an audience.
Like by a toddler or just by anyone?
No, by a toddler. No, man. By a toddler, it'd almost be a little easier.
Like a protege toddler. Though.
Dude, you ever see videos of NBA players? Imagine this. You work so hard your whole life at basketball.
Yeah.
It's your pride and joy. Yeah. You're the best one in your neighborhood. You're the best one in your city.
Yeah.
You make it to the NBA and all of a sudden you're up against Kyrie Irving, and this guy with the handles just goes left. You go left, he goes right, and your ankle snap, and you fall like a loser.
And that replay is played for a decade.
It's on ESPN for top best plays. Or you're getting dunked on. The guy's up in the air. His balls are in your face.
And they're always doing this.
They're like this guy, dude. And it's a poster.
Posterized.
They print out posters
That's
of
a
it.
nightmare.
And, dude. Those are two of my ultimate fears.
Those are two very legitimate fears.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll tell you, I'll end this episode on my ultimate fear. I'm always afraid if I'm like using a Q-tip in my ear, I'm always afraid that someone will open the door and hit my elbow and stab my friend. That's my ultimate fear. No. All right, bro? Yeah. That's legitimately my ultimate fear.
Dude, Q-tips feel so good, though.
Yeah, right.
Dude, it's one of the best things, man. Dude, everybody, after the shower, you get out and you just have this moment where the world is just a beautiful place and you're twisting it. And right. For some reason, your left leg is shaking. You're like, this Q-tip is hitting it, bro.
Dude, this Q-tip is like gay sex, you know? You're orgasming. Mo, why are your ears so clean? I can see your eardrum.
I can see your thoughts.
Well, man, I fucking appreciate it, bro.
Buddy,
this has been
thanks
one of
for
my
having
favorite
me, man. This was
episodes.
dope.
One of my best combos in a while, man.
Thank you, man.
I don't know any teachers besides you, so it's good to.
Oh, buddy, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure.
Your Instagram is down. I don't know if you have been getting booked on anything. I don't know if you want to.
I am. I got
anything.
a show coming up tomorrow. It's like an outdoor patio.
Damn. Well, the
backyard
shit don't drop
show
till Tuesday.
So by the time you see this, it might be good. It's my first show in like 3 months.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
I did an online show.
Second show.
Online show.
I never did those. Bro, I was too afraid. I thought I'd lose something in myself.
I did. I think I lost something. Yeah, it made me.
That was your third biggest fear now?
Yeah, third biggest fear.
Do that again? To experience that again?
Well, you're like, yeah, so what's up with blah, blah, blah? And it's brutal, but whatever. But yeah, so I got my show tomorrow, and then I'm on YouTube, Mo Comedy, or Mo Ismail Comedy. On Facebook, I got Mo Ismail Comedy as well.
I'll put up your YouTube just because, like,
yeah,
that's all you need. I'll link his actual comedy.
Yeah,
so,
I'll be back on Instagram. I'm at Momo Ismail, but I'm just right now. I'm like,
right. I love
promoting anything,
I love
man.
This is the awkward part. You're like, I'll be back.
I'll be back. But right now is me time.
Yeah,
I'm focusing on this.
He's chilling, all right.
Yeah.
Let's try, bro. It'd be so funny if you started teaching high school and you're like dodging punches by day.
I'll have to start doing Muay Thai, man. Muay Thai.
Like going to the clubs at night, avoiding bottles. Just what the fuck am I doing in my life? I'm just avoiding shit all day.
Oh, buddy, I want to teach high school. I think I might eventually go up to high school, but I don't know.
In my mind, it makes sense to do grade school and then high school because you get the psychology of them younger. Or maybe it's better in reverse. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. No. Dude, it's one of the best careers. I love it.
No, I got a lot of respect for teachers, especially. I have a lot of good teachers in my life that I'm like, these are sick
I think
teachers.
for me, comedy and teaching is just neck to neck, man. They're both such fun careers. People are like, yeah, but you got to pick. And I was like, I'm not picking nothing, man. I like both. They both fulfill me.
And that's the best decision you're making.
That's
you know?
it.
There is no need to do one. That's stupid old shit. What is it? Choose one. No. I'll do all the things I like in whatever fucking pie chart time of like however I choose it. You know what I mean?
Do what you love, but whatever it is that you love doing, always make it your goal to be just the best at it. To reach a master level of it.
Yeah, that's how the Japanese do it. You go there, you fucking order a fucking standard American breakfast. They'll give you the perfect over easy egg. You know what I mean? They made the video,
full circle, bro.
They made that video, bro.
Full circle.
I don't know. That was just racist. I ruined it. But yo,
I'm so sorry. I ruined it.
Hey, yo, from my end, Apple, Spotify, click follow. I said it all at the beginning. Yo, you could check out full episodes and a bunch of other cool shows at the sonarnetwork.com. Check out my TikTok, my Instagram, the videos I make. It's all funny shit. Just tell your friends about the Immigrant section. All right, appreciate y'all. As always, love y'all for listening. Peace.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.